This is Shred, and today we're going to talk about snake scales, that bathroom scale you've been avoiding, and even the scales of justice. Just kidding. Of course, we're talking about guitar scales. Scales are the fundamental building blocks of music. Each sacred tone helps you articulate your creative visions to the world. So where do you start, and what are the most important scales to learn? Don't worry, because in this video, I'm going to cover the top 3 scales every guitarist can't live without. Now check this out. You can score my Scale Bible for free in my Discord community below. I've got regular scales, vampire scales, exotic scales, Egyptian scales, one for every human emotion and more. As a bonus, you get access to all of my scales and chords and direct mentoring from me. The very first scale I learned was the blues scale. I remember my cousin giving me a book of guitar scales back in the 1990s, and the blues scale was the first one. Rumor has it the blues scale was invented by the devil to share our feelings of sadness. It contains the root, the minor third, that's the one that makes us cry, and then we have the perfect fourth, the tritone, that's the devil's interval, the fifth, and the flat seventh. Then we're back to the root. Now, the secret to mastering a scale is to see it as a way to articulate your emotions and not just a lifeless pattern to finger your G string with. The best way you can practice your scales is to cue up a drone. So that's that pitch in the background. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. And then what you want to do is play your scale note by note over that and listen to how each pitch sounds. There's that evil note, the devil's interval. Flat 7, back to the 1. There's the third, the fourth, devil, fifth, seventh, root. Now once you get the basic pattern down, let yourself freely explore the scale. Improvise a little bit, try some different patterns and shapes. And there's no right or wrong here. What you're trying to do is form a connection with this new vocabulary and develop some sort of way to express yourself with these notes. Scales aren't just for random noodling, they're actually used in songs. Cream's Sunshine of Your Love is the perfect example. Let's have a closer look at the blues scale. There's the root, A, right? Then it jumps up to C, the minor third. We're in A, I should mention here, the A blues scale. Then we've got the 4th degree D. That moves to the infamous flat 5, the devil's tritone. We have the natural 5th and the flat 7th. Sunshine of Your Love. This is an iconic lick. Actually, it just marches right down the blues scale. So here we're in D blues. That's the root. The 7th, can you see the pattern right there? You're literally just walking down it. The root, the flat 7th, the 5th, devil's tritone right there. There's the 4th, the root, and the minor third. My piano teacher taught me the major scale back in like middle school. Honestly, it sounded like dog shit at first. It took me time to realize that these notes form the very foundation for Western music. Now here's the magical notes of the major scale in A. And what we have is A, the root, first, and then we go to B, the 2nd degree, or the major 2nd, the major 3rd, right there, C sharp. Then we're up to the perfect 4th D. After that, we move to the 5th E. F sharp is the major 6th degree. And finally, the last note is G sharp, that major 7th. The best way to connect with these special pitches is to play them against a fixed point of reference, the drone. So now when you play the scale, it suddenly comes to life with emotion, feeling, and character. Each one has a personality now. Whereas before you were just playing a lifeless pattern. But when we have a backdrop foundation to play our notes against, they come alive. Just kind of experiment around a little bit and see if you find something that your ears like. I got kicked out of my first band because my timing was abysmal. One of the best things you can do for your musicianship is to play along to a metronome or a fixed point of reference. It's kind of like the same thing as the drone except for your timing. Now I'm going to play the A major scale at quarter notes or one note per beat. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, Van Halen's Jump uses the C major scale to outline some glorious arpeggios. All these chord stabs in Van Halen's Jump just come directly out of that C major scale. That's a C. We got a G there. What else? An F, which stands for fun. And of course, it ends with the holiest of all chords, G-sus. Now let's be honest, if you're into rock or metal, the minor scale is where it's at. Sad, somber tones of these notes really helps me articulate what I can't put into words. Let's hear it over a drone, and you're really gonna hear the character come to life here. That somber, sad sound. There's the minor third, the money note. So here it is, the minor scale in A, starting with the root, moving on to the major second B. That's the same as the major scale so far, but here is where things change. That minor third degree C, very important. Up to the fourth degree D, the fifth E, which stands for elephantitis. Everyone knows that. And then F on the 8th fret, up to G, the 7th degree, the flat 7, before we get back to the 1. Once you establish an emotional connection with the notes, fire up your metronome and let's play quarter notes along to the beat. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, one of the greatest guitar riffs ever written uses the minor scale. Of course, I'm talking about Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train. This riff was written by Randy Rhoads, R.I.P. Randy died in a plane crash back in the early 80s. Who knows what he would be now if that wouldn't have happened. Now, Crazy Train is a magical riff. Here it is. And you can see it's in F sharp minor. So there's the root, F sharp. That's C sharp to 5th. The minor 6th degree, very important. That's a defining characteristic. Then we have the third A, second G sharp, and even the 7th E. This riff literally uses all of the tones in the minor scale. Now, which scale was your favorite? Each one has something unique to say. Having a strong scale repertoire is like having a good vocabulary. It gives you more options to express your inner state. Learn more about music theory and composition with my full masterclass. This is a total game changer when it comes to unlocking the blockage in your mind. Till next time, shred till you're dead.